Whatever it is, you can come back from it. Whether it's addiction, mental illness, physical illness, just emotional security, whatever kind of shipwreck that you've been through, whatever kind of island you feel stuck on, there's always hope. You can rise. I mean, that's the story of all the epics, all the heroes, all the movie characters and the book characters, all the archetypes that we humans. It's all about transcending, and whether it's the larger than life obstacles or the daily mundane things, overcoming, surviving. But what if you can't? Maybe you can't. Am I a good motivational speaker? I don't know. Probably depends on the moment or whether you fully hear me out or not. Because a lot of times we try to go through things on our own. There's two things, I guess maybe three things that people generally do. We either isolate or go to other people to try to deal with our problems, or things. But we can do that either in healthy or unhealthy ways, in any direction. Whether we're trying to escape or we're trying to solve, to fix, to attack the issue. And I just invite you to, I don't know, you gotta start taking a look. If things in your life seem to follow a particular pattern every relationship or every couple or few years, you keep finding yourself in the same spot. Well, why? You gotta wonder why. Is it that God hates you? Probably not. I mean, my experience with God, and I know it's a lot different than most people's, but it's been a very personal one, and one that has been filled with love and mercy. Have I been deserving of punishment from God? Yeah. Have I received it? I mean, sometimes, yeah. He disciplines those he loves, but ultimately, I mean, that's the huge rift, right? That we all feel here in our souls, that we try to fill with other things. But the reality is that we're supposed to be walking in communion with God, but our hearts want anything but, really. Just war in human nature, and there is a God of this world as he fancies himself. Satan, demons, very real. I've dealt with those, but they don't make you do evil things. You can blame it all on the devil and demons, but they don't. You have free will. They don't make you do things. God doesn't make you do bad things. Tempted with your own urges to escape and run away, or usually, I mean, that's what it is. Or we have these appetites that are too big, too grand for us. We have lusts that our eyes are bigger than our stomachs, and I don't know. Maybe you're not gonna make it, but the reason why is going to be because you choose not to. I mean, really, like, you're only not gonna make it because you choose not to. Because if you if you choose to turn to others for help, and you choose to turn to God for help, and you admit it's that thing, that vulnerability thing of, we have to admit, well, we're not Superman. You know, I used to think I was the toughest guy. One of, well, I still do believe I'm one of the toughest guys on the planet, and I mean, I think I am, but I'm wise enough now to know that I'm not nearly as tough as I thought I was. And I think you get a lot tougher when you when you realize how weak you are. And vulnerability can be strength. I mean, yeah, I've been hit pretty hard in about every way, kind of every facet that I can be, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and it's been a rough road, a hard life. Hasn't been easy, but I can continue in those same cycles. I can continue to do the same things that bring me to dark places, or I can, let a little light in. Oh, look out there! Look at all that beautiful greenery. I can get outside, go do some barefoot walking, get in the sun, and do the little daily work, build the habits that will change this ship around. But ultimately, I know I can't do it on my own. I have to rely on others. So I've been building a network of friends and family to support each other. I mean, that's ultimately what we're made for as humans, to be communal beings. We're not supposed to be a hive mind, but one body with many members. There's so many different personality types and people who have different gifts and talents, and don't run away from everyone. Because being on your own, which is sometimes needed, but there's a percentage of solitude that's good for the soul, but too much is too much. And even if you're fine on your own, if you're being a hermit, then what good are you contributing to others? One particular thing I find funny. I like. Well, I like studying psychology and also sociology, and relationship dynamics as a whole, but dating relationships also. And if you don't know what your oh man, what are they called? Attachment style. If you don't know what your attachment style is, you're gonna have some real issues, and you're gonna continue to go after the same people, and you're gonna wind up in the same situations over and over. I saw this video, and it was kind of funny. It was this girl talking about the three types of guys that women usually date, and the one was like, she's like, oh well, when you're young and don't know better, you usually kind of date this guy and she said, think your typical college bro, the guy who always has time for his guy friends, but never really has time for you, very little time for you. And then there's the guy in the middle who is like, everything about this guy, and to my mind, this isn't what she used, but in my mind, this would be the stereotypical, like, nice guy. The guy that she was like, in your mind, you should be like, I should be in love with this guy. And I like everything about him, but for some reason, I just don't like him. So she said, so you have to let that guy go. And then there's a third guy that you'll always keep chasing. But no matter what you do, you'll never be good enough for him. And I'm like, all right, well, here we go. There's that all could be fixed real easy, because that's attachment style issues. And and I've gone through that, and a lot of it has to do with, like, so when you're going after the person that's like, you want the person that you can't have, that kind of thing, is like, it's funny. It's funny because there's so many things that play into it, but one of them is like when in certain attachment styles, like you're trying to and this is where Freud got all his freaky stuff from. He just took it a weird way, because Freud was a freak. And there are freaks out there. Freud was one of them, but he definitely had the Oedipus Rex complex, I believe. But aside from that, it's trying to find the same kind of attachment style that you had with your caregivers or your parents. So for this girl, perhaps she didn't get the kind of attention that she wanted from her parents. So she's trying to get that. So she's going after the guys, like, it's like, daddy, look at me. So it's like, she's trying to get the dudes, like, hey, look at me, like, why don't you want me? And maybe it's just like, part of our nature is like, well, we have to try to prove ourselves and try to go for, what we can't have, and what you can have is just kind of like too boring. But to me, it's just like, well, I mean, if you find that person who's like, there's something telling you, like, oh, everything about them that I do like, and that I love, I should love everything about this person, but for some reason I'm just not feeling it. Well, maybe it's something wrong with you and your attachment style. Because for me, it's all about someone's character. It's like, for a while I got caught on to, like, chasing the wrong kinds of girls, but once I learned what I was doing and just kind of what was going on, I was just like, yeah, no, I'm good. because once you learn from your previous mistakes, you're just like, I don't want to repeat that. Like my heart and my instincts are like, yeah, I want that, but like, no, I'd rather have the person that I could just have right now that just matches what would make a good spouse, a good co-parent. And so I don't know. Sometimes, the way also today that like that this motivational speech has been turned into a dating relationship, right? Um, welcome to the many modes of Robert's mind. Um, like the way that movies are portrayed in books and all that stuff, and this idea of the perfect romance, and it's like it's always great. It's like, well, no, that's not reality. No human relationship is ever great, and this ties back to like the relationships in general, and just society as a whole. Things aren't things aren't going to be perfect. You have to work. There has to be mutual sacrifice, mutual vulnerability, mutual trust for any kind of relationship, even a business relationship, to work. So, I don't know, man. Some of you are out there like just going it alone and acting like you're okay and masking all the time, and I'm just so past that. Like, where does that get you? And maybe less people want to be around me sometimes. And honestly, like I'm so blessed. Like I have so many great people in my life, so many like great friends. Like I really do. And it's hard for me to like keep in contact with people, and see them as often as I would like to, because there's so many of you that are just awesome, and I miss you. Um, so if you haven't heard from me for a while, don't think it's anything personal. It might be, but it's a very very slim chance that it is. But there are some people who just don't like deepness, don't like the depth, don't like the reality. Um, can't talk about certain subjects or whatever. I'm just like, I'm gonna say what's on my mind. I'm gonna talk about what I believe, and I mean, if I'm in severe chronic pain, I'm gonna tell you like, I'm not doing too great, but you know what? It's okay. I'm here because I'm happy. I'm happy to be here hanging with you, or to be able to be on this phone call right now, and it's so like recognize your situation, because if you don't recognize your situation, whatever kind of like loop you're in, like first you gotta find and address the problems to fix it. But if you just keep masking all the time and acting like everything's fine, gosh, man. If we're looking at this in the context of relationships, like why why do you think the divorce rate's like 50%? Like people just masking all the time and pretending like everything's great instead of being vulnerable and opening up and talking about issues. And also like the fact that like if you're on birth control, which like a lot of women are, it changes your hormones to which play a huge role in like human compatibility, like romantically, like endorphins and hormones plays a whole huge role in that. Like your hormones, how they get shifted when you're on birth control, um, actually scientifically is shown to change the type of partner that you're attracted to. So then once you get off of that, you're like, I don't like this guy anymore. I generally, like, if I'm correct, like the trend tends to be like it makes women more attracted to more effeminate guys. Which is weird. So there's a tidbit for you, you know. Um, but yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, just if you're not gonna be honest with anyone else, at least be honest with yourself and start addressing things under the hood. But like, it's no longer cool to pretend like you have it all together, because I don't care where you're at in life. You don't have it all figured out, and you're not perfect. There's not a person on this planet that's perfect. I can guarantee you that. So if you're, if someone's trying to pretend like they are, red flag. Um, red flag. Um, Green flags are, you know, people who are honest about their flaws and willing to admit them, willing to make apologies and make changes and stuff. And I don't know, man. I was watching this movie, and there's like it's about these comedians, and it's like this comedian that was like pretending to be a kitten in this video, but with a bunch of cute cats, because he's like, oh, you put like cute kittens in the title, then you're really like 1,000,000 plays on your radio. So um, that's gonna happen. But since I have now talked about cute kittens, I'm gonna talk about cute kittens in the title. So now you know why. And it took us 20 minutes plus to get here, but that's why. Um, but stop. You know, whatever it is that you're using to run away from your issues, like stop watching cute cat videos. That's it. That's the metaphor. It's like stop watching those videos and turn and look inward, and maybe you can change. You can get out of whatever situation that you're in. You can come back. Like trust me, like whatever kind of like brink or whatever junk you've gone through, like I've I've been through, you know, most of it on some kind of level, like where I'm going through it. you, you can come back. It's not over. It's not too late for you. So um, what I'd like to talk about, what I'll be talking about in my poem anthology that I'll be coming out with is the metamorphosis. And I've talked about it on here before, you know, but the metamorphosis of the caterpillar to the butterfly, but like what that takes, how much like trudging through life the caterpillar has to do, how much work, how much eating, how much, you know, making that chrysalis when that, you know, literally they everything about them is broken down and rebuilt, like. But that's the ultimately, you know, that's the God put metaphors everywhere in creation. Like that's the metaphor of being reborn, you know, in the Christian life. And it's like, I mean, my advice, what I say on this channel, is going to help you, like, no matter what you believe spiritually, if you listen to what I say. But it's not going to matter, not a lick. end if you don't have that relationship with Christ. I'm just that's what I'm on about, man. That's what I know. So I'm gonna say it. So ultimately, there it is. But um, less cute kittens, more eye of the tiger. All right, more eye of the tiger.